Hello everybody, Jack Saunders here from Box to Belly. If you're seeing this video now, it means you've bought some meat from Freddie at Morehouse Farm. Now that's very exciting news. Freddie's a very good friend of mine and he got in touch with me to see if I'd like to do any of these videos for his little meat box business and his meat business that has just started out. And I leaped at the idea because I love supporting local produce. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy this little video that we've got in store for you today. I've got a little slurp. I'm on beer today. If you've seen my videos before, I've usually got a glass of wine in my hand. I thought, well, we're doing American-style hamburgers, so I'll have a beer, and it's slightly refreshing, of course. And we are filming this at 11 o'clock in the morning, so cheers. So a little bit about Freddie and Morehouse Farm. I'll not go too much into Freddie because there's one or two things you ought not to know really. But Morehouse Farm has a suckler herd of Aberdeen Angus. So that means basically that they're out on grass and they're fed grass all year round. That benefits the meat in a couple of different ways really. So the meat that is, meat that is brought up on grass and that is grass fed is a little bit more tender, some people say, a little bit more flavoursome. Sometimes the fat's a little bit yellow, and that's from the chlorophyll in the grass. So it's nothing to worry about. We're used to going into supermarkets and buying big lean steaks with white fat on them. But that's not really what we're after really for, now we know more about food, know more about meat, and if you've got this far in your meat buying journey, hopefully you will appreciate that just a little bit more. And the Aberdeen Angus, of course, is a breed known for really good intra and intermuscular fat, basically marbling. And so not only does the marbling inside the meat make it more flavoursome when it melts down when you cook it, but it also makes it more tender because it's a bit spongier when you bite it. I'm rambling on. I'm going to have a slurp. Cameraman, into the ingredients, please. So we'll start over at the mince. So you might have got a burger like that that's already constructed. That's 100% beef at the minute. You can deconstruct it and make it into mince. That's a good quality mince. You don't want mince too lean, but it is also nice when it looks, quite red and fresh. I've got some streaky bacon there that we will go on to later. I'm making two types of burgers for you today, one with streaky bacon, one without. There's a few other differences. I'll get onto them later. I've got a chopped red onion there. Some people blanch this. I like it raw because it adds to the bite, it adds to the crisp and sharpness of the meal. We've got some gherkins there. I love gherkins, so I've got 3, and I've got some chopped up. Again, I'll show you what I'm doing with the chopped up ones later. I've got some tomatoes. I've got some iceberg lettuce. Iceberg lettuce is probably the only type of lettuce that works for burgers really because it's nice and flat and you can sit it on top. I've got some Stilton there and I've got some cheddar cheese there. Salt and pepper. And I've got an English muffin that I've just toasted slightly there. So we're going to have a look at this, please, cameraman. I'm going to do 2 different types of burgers today. So they've been pressed out by my little mechanical burger press. But if you just deconstruct them, you can make burger pates like that, and they're as absolutely good as anything. You want to make it really the thickness of the bun. You don't want it spilling out over the side. You don't want to look a right mess when you eat it. So I'm going to do 2 types of burgers today. I'm going to do what I class as 100% beef burger, and then we add the toppings on later, so you treat it a bit like a steak. And then I'm going to do a bit of a dirty burger, really, I suppose, which I'm going to mix some of this onion, some of the chopped gherkin, and I'm going to put some cheddar cheese on top. I'm going to mix that and that inside the burger while that's still raw. As I say, some people blanch it, but I'm going to keep it raw so it adds to a bit of a bite. And we're going to put, we're going to have a bit of fun with that anyway. So if your burgers, look like that, that's fine. Treat them a bit like a steak. So I'm going to leave one and I'm going to put, I'll do it now for you so you can see. I'm going to treat it like a steak. So I rub a bit of olive oil into it. And that is 100% beef. If it's, I'll just wash my hands, as the actress said to the bishop. If you're going to treat it, like a steak, that's fine. Put salt and pepper on there. If the mince, if you think the mince could do with an egg whisking through it, some people do that as well, just to bind the mince. But that meat is absolutely fine, and I don't need to bind it with an egg. So that basically, until we come to construct it later, that is my hamburger, as the French call it. That is my hamburger done. That's just been seasoned on the outside, treated exactly like you would a steak. Now for the real part. So I'm going to put that in there. So if you get a burger, you can start breaking it up. That's still 100% beef. We're going to need another bowl for this. We'll move that out of the way now. And you can break your burger up like that. And what I'm going to do, I've chopped these quite coarsely. You can go a bit finer. I like the bite. I'm going to make a bit of a dirty burger, as I will call it. A homemade dirty burger, that is. Not the emulsified things that you sometimes find. This may look a little bit coarse. You do it exactly how you like it. This is how I like it. So now with that, making sure it'll cook nicely. Contradictory to most, I like mine just a little bit pink in the middle. Don't believe everything you heard in the 1980s about pink beef and pink pork and all that. That'll be just fine for me. And that, can you see, it's not very aesthetically pleasing, but it'll be absolutely delicious. You can see the onions and the gherkins pressed in there. That's what I call a bit of a dirty burger. And again, I'll put a little bit of olive oil. You can put salt and pepper in the mixture. I'll put it on now. Over to the pan, please, cameraman. So we're starting with the streaky bacon. That's the noise you want to hear because we want that to crozzle. And then I go in with the burgers. Remember, this is the burger that's 100% beef, plus the salt and pepper, which I've just, cut like a steak. That goes in there. And this is our dirty burger, our smash burger. Now, you want those burgers, up to me, please, cameraman. You want those burgers in for about 3 minutes aside. Don't go, tossing them and turning them. Have a look in the pan, please. Is it all over? She's new, this cameraman, but it's okay. Can you see the marks there, the griddle marks there? What happens there is, hello? What happens there is, if you leave the burgers on on one side for 3 minutes, it'll cook nicely and they'll not be sticky when you try and remove it. So don't be, frantic and messing about in the kitchen. Just leave them sat there for about 3 minutes. We'll come back when they're ready to be turned over. While you're waiting for those to sizzle away, if you want, you can add a little bit of butter on your buns. But remember, a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. In, please, cameraman. So over the bacon goes, and over the burgers go. Look, they've not stuck to the pan because them marks there have seared, and it's not sticky at all. Another 3 minutes, repeat. So after 3 minutes aside, they should be ready. If you want them, I like them just a little bit pink in the middle. If you want them done a little bit more, then keep them in longer. And the bacon is for the plain one. So now it's time to construct our burgers. I've made a boo-boo. I should have put the cheese in when it was in the pan. You can do that at home. Oh well, I don't like it too runny and melted anyway. I like it with a little bit of crunch. So I'm going to put the plain cheddar one on the dirty burger. That's the one with the onions and the gherkins chopped in the meat inside. I'm going to put a tomato on there for a little bit of freshness. And I'm going to also put, for a little bit of freshness, an iceberg lettuce on there as well. And now on the plain burger that has just a little bit of bacon, I'm also going to put some Stilton cheese on there. That Stilton cheese might be a little bit salty with the bacon, so I'll tell you what, I'll half it and I'll put the other half on there. Why not? Iceberg lettuce on there. Remember, the cheese should have been melted, but we're not perfect. I'll have a bit of a slurp. It's very hot and flustering in this kitchen, so you will have to forgive me for the few mess-ups that I make. And I like gherkins. I like the tanginess of them, so we put them on there. And we put the tomato on, and I do believe that is it. So there we are. Two different types of burgers made from what started off being 100% mince. I think they look rather good. Now for the cross-sectional cut. The proof is in the pudding, or in the burger, should I say. There we are. That is your hamburger, if you like. And this is the dirty burger. There we go. In with the dirty burger. Excellent, even if I say so myself. Now for the hamburger, as the French call it. Really nice. The cheese, the Stilton cheese, complements it. Stilton goes very well with beef, in my humble opinion. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I've just had to recharge my glass. I'm going to go away now and make these burgers. I hope you have as much fun doing them. I'm also going to offer one to the cameraman, who was a little bit upset because I may have snapped earlier, but she's used to me by now. I hope you enjoy the beef from Morehouse Farm. I hope you enjoy the journey from seeing it from farm to fork. I think it's a really great idea. It's a really special product. And yeah, I just hope you enjoy it. And I hope that you can feel as passionate about burgers as I can, if that's possible. Cheers, everybody. Thank you very much.